Good morning. Morning, everybody. Hey, Jim. Okay. Let's see, that seems a bit bright. Okay. All right. Who have we got with us today? Jim, Edna Mae, Kim, Marty, and Sonia. Good morning, my darlings. Good to have you all here. My name is Reverend Lynn LaBorde, and I have the honor of channeling Mary Magdalene, who was the beloved of Yeshua, known to everybody as Jesus, and the mother of his children, his wife. Very different story than what went on in the Bible. And she has invited me. Jim, you won't see yourself because this is a webinar, not a meeting. And I did it this way so that we could do the recording portion. So you guys won't see yourselves. Hi, Marty. Okay. So whoever asks a question, you guys won't see yourself because we're doing a webinar. So Magdalene came to me in 2019 when I was going through a rather dark period in my life. And to say that she saved my life is an understatement. She brought so much love and so much compassion. And before then, I had been channeling Pallas Athena and I had been channeling Hathor. And Magdalene came in with this tenderness and this love and this compassion. And she was someone that I recognized, someone that I knew, someone that I really felt in my heart. So earlier in 2020, she said that she wanted to start a journey where we would read all of the lessons from A Course in Miracles for a year. And I would channel her, and she would bring in the divine feminine perspective of these lessons. So that's what we've been up to. And today is lesson 13. It is January 13th. And it's been an extraordinary journey. The miracles that have happened in my life have been really, really stunning. After this is done, I do a meditation where there's a group of us that get together. We're making our way through a book that is called The Way of Mastery, which is another book that Yeshua had channeled through a gentleman many years ago, maybe 30 years ago. And we all get together and we meditate, and I channel Yeshua, the one he says, I am the one that you know as Jesus. So I get this beautiful, incredible love sandwich every day of both Magdalene and Yeshua. So that is my journey, and that's what I'm up to. And here is lesson 13 from A Course in Miracles. A meaningless world engenders fear. Today's idea is really another form of the preceding one, except that it is more specific as to the emotion aroused. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. Nothing without meaning exists. However, it does not follow that you will not perceive something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think you do perceive it. Recognition of meaninglessness arouses intense anxiety in all the separated one. It represents to them a situation in which God and the ego challenge one another. Where God and the ego challenge others as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space which meaninglessness provides. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own impotence and unreality. On this alone, it is incorrect. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaninglessness and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices, as they must also be to you who equate yourself with the ego. The exercises for today, which should be done about 3 to 4 times for not more than a minute or so at most each time, are to be practiced in a somewhat different way from the preceding ones. With your eyes closed, repeat today's idea, then open your eyes and look about you slowly, saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. Repeat this statement to yourself as you look about, then close your eyes and conclude. A meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God. You may find it difficult to avoid resistance in one form or another to this concluding statement. Whatever form such resistance may take, tell yourself that you are really afraid of such a thought because of the vengeance of the enemy. You are not expected to believe the statement at this point, and you will probably try to dismiss it as preposterous. Note carefully, however, any signs of overt or covert fear which it may arouse. This is our first attempt at stating an overt cause and effect relationship of a kind which you are very inexperienced in recognizing. Do not dwell on the concluding statement and try not even to think of it except during the exercise periods, which will be suffice at present. Lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. Now I'm going to channel Magdalene, bring her through, and let's see what she has to say. Greetings, beloveds. The egoic mind, the purpose of the ego, is indeed to protect the human structure in its dualistic journey through this dimension. To say it has been run rampant is an understatement. It has indeed relied upon its own self-importance in order to survive. It has indeed cut out its creator. It has indeed severed its connection to source. The meaningless world is a world that is empty and that is void and that is meant to be filled in conjunction and in correlation with a relationship with source, with creation itself. But the ego has stepped in and said, this is for me to do. This is my job. I am here to save the day. And if you choose to listen to the voice of God, it will tell you. You will indeed experience punishment. You will indeed be captured. You will indeed be shamed. For it believes that it knows more. It believes that it can do better. It believes in its superiority. It believes in its competition with love itself. The egoic mind creates a phantasm of chaos and disorder, of lower feelings, feelings that cause shame and guilt and fear, agitation. It experiences a sense of loss because of this feeling of separation. But the truth of you, beloveds, is far grander than the ego could possibly comprehend. The truth of you is a magnificence and a love that expands beyond mortal thought. It requires you to release yourselves from the trappings of the ego, from the mind of the ego, and requires you to bring yourself to a consciousness that flows constantly. It is indeed like the river that flows underneath the frozen water. A meaningless world is meant to engender fear, to cause separation, to bring you to a point of saying, if I surrender to the will of God, if I listen to the voice of God, I will be punished. God is to be feared. This is the voice of the ego, beloveds. Fear does not exist. God does one thing and one thing only, and that is to love all of creation. When each is able to love as God loves, this dualistic universe, this dualistic reality, this sense of separation ceases to exist. There is indeed a game that is afoot. There is indeed a sense of being a part of something that is separate from what it was intended to be. There is a healing that is occurring. Each heart beats in unison with that of the divine. Each being is deeply connected to another in that they become a mirrored aspect. It is like experiencing the front of a hand and the back of a hand. Where you are, love abides. Where you are, love is. For it is the very fabric of your existence. It is the very life that has breathed you. When you forget your place in the world, beloveds, we invite you to come to your breath. We invite you to come to love. When you allow your mind to wreak chaos, you have separated yourself from joy. You have separated yourself from peace. You have separated yourself from love. Bring yourself to stillness, dear ones. Bring yourself to the joy that abides, the happiness that lives within by seeking out this place, by closing your eyes to the duality, the pain and the suffering, the chaos that you have created within your mind. And allow yourself to come back to the truth. Look for the light in one another, beloveds. Look for the love. Know that when you experience fear, when you experience torment, when you experience nightmares, when you experience pain, when you experience suffering, you have aligned yourself with an energy that you yourself has manifest and therefore are capable of undoing, are capable of relinquishing. You yourselves are capable of saying, I am looking in the wrong direction. And as you bring yourself to bear to say, if this is the wrong direction, what might be the right direction? What might bring me peace? What might bring me solace? There you begin your journey of truth. There you begin your journey of love. As you look upon a world and you see fear, know that there is another choice. The choice to close your eyes, to take a breath, and to go within. For there is a world so rich that exists. And there is a pathway, there is a map home. Allow your minds to become quieted. And when you find that you have made errors, forgive yourself. As you look upon the world, see the meaningless world that has been created by your mind. And know that there is no competition with God, for God does one thing ceaselessly. God loves all of creation. God loves you, all of you, every last bit of you, even the chaotic part of you that has habitually chosen to see a world created through the ego, created through a split, created through separation. So bring yourself to bear in your life, beloveds, and recognize that what you see has been created from fear and from a point of view that is merely mistaken. And allow yourselves to come back to love. All blessings to you, beloveds. Call upon us, reach out to us, and allow us to help you to remember. We shall speak with you again. Thank you all so much for being here today. I wish you all a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.